Oh wow, I started that really quickly. Hi, hello, welcome to Deeper Conversations. Or I guess welcome back. Wait, did I say that already? Wow, it is way too early for me to be doing this. Welcome back to Deeper Conversations with me, your host, Matthew Silvers. I hope you guys are having a great day, great evening, afternoon, wherever you are at the moment. Today is such a busy day. Before we get into the topic, I might as well just talk about what's been going on. First of all, I'm wearing this insanely cute spirit jersey from Disney. Um, if you guys aren't watching on YouTube, it's this like red, white, and blue. Today's July 5th when I'm recording this. It's the day after July 4th. And I wore this last night. I changed 3 times yesterday because I was doing some stuff. But I wanted to put this back on because I forgot I had it this entire season, like this entire month. You know, when you prepare for the holiday next with clothes that say Christmas or whatever, or whatever. And I forgot that I had this, and it's so cute and I love it. And so I decided to put it back on just for the podcast so I could see myself in it again. If you're new here, hi, hello. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. I have coffee in front of me, so if I take a sip, that's why I take a pause. I put 2 different creamers in it this morning because I like a lot of cream and I ran out of the cinnamon one. So I put some caramel in it, and the caramel one's okay. So, crazy, crazy past week, crazy new week. Things, girl, things are happening. Where should I even start? Well, let's just start on what I have to do today. You guys, I have to record this podcast. I have to edit 2 videos because I'm going on a trip next week. I'm doing 2 photo shoots. I have to go grocery shopping. I have to get my hair cut. And I also have to go through these text messages from up to 3 years ago. Because I've been meaning to and write down the stuff that I need to and have enough storage on my phone because my storage is absolutely ridiculous. Because obviously I want to do vlogs on the trip and I want to take pictures on the trip. And so I need some storage for that. And I am going alone. It is a solo trip, solo dolo. And it is the first time I'm going on a trip by myself. And I couldn't be any more excited. Your boy is going to get in some trouble. And if you're wondering, Matthew, why are you going on a trip? Where are you going? I've been keeping it on pause. Keeping it on pause. I've been coming on low DL for a little bit. I only bought the trip like a month and a half ago. But I haven't told anybody. I don't know why when it comes around, I kind of get silent, which is so weird. It's so random. But it's my birthday. I sound like that TikTok from Tangled. It's my wait, oh, I can't do it anyway. It's my birthday. Anyways, okay. Moving on. So before we get into my past week, this new week, so besides the stuff that I have to do today, I'm hanging with a friend all day tomorrow. Or hanging, they're not my friend. I'm hanging with someone new tomorrow. Um, Gotta stay on brand with saying that I don't have any friends. No, I'm just kidding. Wednesday, I'm going to a concert. And then Wednesday as well, I'm probably going to end up working a little bit. Thursday work, Friday work, Saturday work, Sunday work. And then Sunday night is Sunday itself is my actual birthday. And so I'm going to go to a gay club here in Denver, Colorado. Not sure which one I'm going to go to yet. Actually, I probably won't club hop. That doesn't sound fun to me. So I'm gonna have to pick one, whatever. And then the next morning, Monday morning, I fly out and I'm going to Vegas for my 21st. Well, again, my birthday's on Sunday. I'm turning 21 and turn it up. But I'm going to Vegas. I'm going alone. I have a suite to myself. And you guys are gonna see, I was gonna say lots of videos. You're gonna see a couple videos on my trip. I have some fun things planned that I have yet to tell anybody. So I'm super excited. So there's that. That's my week to come. It's gonna be absolutely madness. It's gonna be like this. Wow, that is a really important sound that's gonna lead into the conversation. I hope you guys heard that. I'm crying. I'm fucking dead. He said, "Ooh, grinder." Okay. Um, so this past week, obviously, you can tell by the episode name what we're gonna probably talk about. And that's protection and sex and STDs. And I want to first preface, like, this will probably be split into two parts. Like actual sex and like the fun of sex and like the positions and like all the silliness, and probably gonna take the BDSM test in front of you guys for the third time. I've taken it twice in my life. So I'll probably take it a third time just because I feel like every 6 months like something new comes from me and I start changing again, and what I like and things like that. And so I can think, goodness gracious. I just lost my train of thought. Somebody texted me and I was reading it. LOL. Oh, so like that's all gonna be on like a second part. Like I want to focus on like the protection and the STDs and that and my experience and stuff like that first. So let's get into it. Thank you, Grinder Noise, for that transition. So this past week, uh the weekend before obviously was Pride, and I got into some shenanigans, as we all do. Excuse me. And I ended up actually having symptoms because a lot of the times, I would say for gonorrhea, it's probably a lot more prominent. For chlamydia, typically you don't know that you have it, at least in men. And let me preface by saying I'm gonna say like maybe one, maybe two things about straight STDs and things like that, but because I'm not a straight person and I'm not in that world, I only know what I've heard from my girlfriends and all of that as well. So I don't want to speak on that, and I might obviously have a guest on eventually about talking about STDs and straight people and things like that, because it is so. Well, okay, so let's go back. So Pride Month, Pride weekend. It was my first one. Got into some shenanigans. Started having symptoms. Oh, by the way, I not that well, some people might be triggered by it, but just a little trigger warning before I start talking about it. I will be getting into like specifics and things like that. So if that somehow triggers you, I totally respect that. I totally understand. So I'm just letting you know now. Give you a second to click off. So I started having like cloudy things coming out of, what's like the best appropriate name, my dick. So I had discharge coming out of my dick, which I've never seen before. um I know some people like have compared it to pre-com, and I personally, well, okay, this is why we're gonna have a fun episode about sex. um but personally, like, I don't pre-com a lot unless you do things. And so I've just never really experienced it that much. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I feel like this is extreme. And obviously it was a little bit more, I would say, becomes a little bit more white. This is more like a grayish, cloudy. You can imagine what it is. Substance, liquid that comes out of your penis. Um, and I promise I'm not being immature. Like, I really just don't know which. I've still not figured that out. I don't know why, but I haven't figured out like what people like hearing necessarily. So not that it necessarily matters, but yeah. So I had that when I was urinating, which, by the way, that was another symptom. I was frequently urinating. It was like fucking crazy. Um, and then it was slightly painful. It wasn't too bad. I know a lot of people have it a lot worse. So I was a little bit blessed, but yeah, it was a little bit painful to use the bathroom. And so I knew I probably should go get checked out because that's más importante. So I go in and I tell, we're talking, and going to Planned Parenthood, which is another conversation I'd like to have. Is I went to Planned Parenthood. It's a great place to go to get tested. So I get tested, and I also get treated. And the woman was an interesting woman. A majority of the Planned Parenthood experiences I've had, actually all of them except for like this one necessarily, were incredible. This one wasn't incredible. It was just like plain good. It wasn't bad, but um yeah. So, but she was telling me like a lot of the times chlamydia and gonorrhea can come together, and I've actually never seen that before. And I'm not gonna like discredit a doctor, but I just was like, I've never really seen that. I've never really heard it, but I guess we should talk about it. Sometimes they come together, just to let you guys know. And they do oh, I should have pulled it up. It's like I'll just call it a GC combo, gonorrhea chlamydia combo, like testing. And then I got tested for a UTI because I thought it might be a UTI as well. UTIs are super common in women. They can happen in men, just not quite as often. So just to be wary, like I got tested for a UTI as well, just in case. Because I didn't want like the gonorrhea to show up like negative and then chlamydia to show up negative and then be like, well, what the fuck do I have? Like, is it something I should be worried about? So I got tested for a UTI, which is a urine sample. And then and I know they do this in different places. I've done it different ways. So it's like slightly confusing. Some people can treat like gonorrhea and chlamydia in 3 days. Sometimes it's 7. Sometimes it's a shot, sometimes it's a, whatever. So I went in and I was like, I think I'm almost positive I have gonorrhea. I literally knew at that point. I was like, I'm pretty positive it's gonorrhea. I had chlamydia before, which I'm going to get into that experience in a minute, but I had chlamydia before. I didn't show any symptoms, but so I was like, well, chlamydia, I feel like doesn't show that many symptoms quite often. I feel like you don't really know you have it. Gonorrhea, I feel like it's more prominent. And UTIs, like they have similar symptoms, but it was just a really gut feeling that I had. And so, of course, she let me get treated. Typically, if you say something like that, they'll let you get treated. And if you have the right insurance, it'll typically, be free. And so she treated me for chlamydia and gonorrhea. Gonorrhea this time around was and I think gonorrhea might be the same. I think chlamydia is the one that's different, depending on where you live. But for the gonorrhea, I got like this shot in my ass, which feels very strange. Like obviously it's not normal to have a shot in your ass. And the doctor that was saying that stuff was also saying like, or it was a different doctor than gave me the ass. And the reason that's important was the one that gave me the shot in the ass is because she like was worried and whatnot. And I've had this shot one more time. I had a gonorrhea. I don't want to say a scare because I'm going to talk about the stigmas, but just because that's like an appropriate word in the scenario. I had a gonorrhea scare back in when I first got here. So it would have been like September maybe of last year. Maybe August. No, it had to be September. Anyways, doesn't matter. I digress. But she was like nervous, and so she puts it in me, and I obviously like comedic relief. I looked at her and she was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I was like, "Well, to be quite frank with you, I've had bigger things in my ass." And I was like, Matthew, what the fuck? It was like this poor woman. And she started laughing, but I was like, oh my God. So gonorrhea is typically a shot, and I did get treated for gonorrhea the last time too, and it was also a shot. And then it's also a pill. Well, okay, so it is vaguely different. So when I had my gonorrhea scare, I got the shot, and I feel like it was slightly smaller than the one that she gave me. And then I took one pill. That was it. Took one pill, one and done. Results for that one came back negative, so I was completely fine. Like I didn't have anything. But so come to find out, like I did this one, and for this round, gonorrhea was just the shot, and then chlamydia was 2 pills, every day for 7 days. Well, when I got chlamydia the first time, well, the only time, but when I got chlamydia, the pill that we took was one pill for 7 days, and that one was back in Florida. Excuse me, Florida. It's crazy to start talking about this stuff because nobody really knows this about me. Nobody really knew I had chlamydia ever. And doing that in a family that like I was not out to and things like that was very difficult to like avoid the conversation. They're like, like at 20 years old, you're not getting too much blood work done and things like that. They're like, why are you in the doctors? I was like, oh, they just wanted to run some, like some shit, some bullshit lie. And that's why, like, again, a different conversation. That's why partly like Planned Parenthood, because they can be very secretive on your behalf, which is a great thing to have. So the first time, yeah, I got chlamydia. It was literally a pill, and that was it, one pill. So I'm not sure why it's different across different Planned Parenthoods. Well, so the time I got chlamydia, I got tested at it's a really popular testing center, but it's not Planned Parenthood. And so, but it was one pill. So I don't know why it's different. That's something I can't answer quite yet. If I look it up, maybe I can find it, but I don't know why it's different between them all. But just to say the least, it's not bad. The treatment's not bad at all. Especially the gonorrhea one is so nice because it's, well, again, just for this one, or at least like the other ones are one pill, but it's nice because you just get the shot in your ass and you're fucking done. Your treatment period, though, 7 days, no sex, which again, should be okay. Um, but it's just, when someone's like, you can't do something, you just want to do it more. Yeah, that's basically how it is. It's kind of annoying, but a 7 day period, great, one and done. So let me talk about my experience with chlamydia, and then, well, let me finish this story. So this week, like, I took 3 months off of sex a little bit ago. Oh, I'm also on prep. I take that every day in the morning. And you can take it anytime during the day as long as it's like consistent throughout the days. Anyways, that's really important for the LGBTQ members out there. Like, please, like, get on prep. It's the most important. It can protect you from HIV and AIDS. And it's really fucking important to do, and it's really simple. Like, and if you struggle taking pills, yo, hit me up in my DMs. I for 20 years was not able to take pills, and I finally figured out how to fucking take them. And I'm not going to teach you how to do it in a stupid way that your parents would be like, just put it in the back of your throat and swallow it. Like, it's so stupid when they say that. Oh my God, I used to get screamed at all the time because they were like, just fucking take it. They wouldn't cuss. They've never cussed. But anyways, I just what a time. But I'll let you know my little secret, my little secret. So this week has just been interesting because I mean, again, it makes me sound like a hoe, but it was just like I was very sexually frustrated, and I'm just being quite frank with you guys because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna not say what I was feeling, because that's what this podcast is about, is getting deeper and telling you my intrusive thoughts. And so I was sexually frustrated, and I did have a man or two over this weekend, but not to have sex, because that's más importante and that's important. But I do have something that I'd like to say about it, is that in scenarios like this, you never start to realize who's an asshole, um, who's an asshole, and what you can do besides penetration and blowjobs. Obviously, because you don't want to spread anything. So I was very safe in what I did. Like, obviously, like I not humble at all, but I'm a good person, and I'm obviously not. That would be a sick thing to do to someone. And I told everyone, like, that was messaging me on Grindr that wanted to come hang out. I literally texted. I was like, I just want to let you know I can't do anything. Like, I cannot do anything. But so I had two people over, and it's more about discovering what you can do beyond just penetration and blowjobs in the bedroom without, doing anything to your ass or your penis using your tongue or your dick, which was so eye-opening. And girl, there are some things that feel incredible without doing it. Like obviously masturbation, like, is totally allowed. Like kissing everywhere is also allowed, um, sucking on your nipples isn't going to give you gonorrhea. And it's that kind of pleasure that forces you to start to think and wonder, what more can you do in the bedroom without penetration? And that's my grinder bio, and a lot of people have been commenting on it. I tell people, like, your sex is boring if you think that it's just top and bottoming, just penetration. Like, I don't want it. Like, your sex is boring. Like, I want more, like, especially the guys who just completely skip foreplay, like just even down to the basics, but like down to the intimacy. And like, a lot of people don't understand that even if it's a one night stand, you can have intimacy, and it clicks and it works, and it's incredible. Um, and I'll get into like the deep sex again in the second part of this. Um, so that's just to put that out there. Like, I did invite somebody over. I did again mention, like, and I kept mentioning it because it's important, just like consent, to be like, hey, I just want to remind you, like, whatever. And there's, if they're not calm about it, there's two things. One, they're insecure. Two, they don't know anything about fucking STDs. Oh, and three, they're an asshole. So, three things. And here's that. Well, okay. So let's go back. So the first time I got chlamydia, I was tested positive. Oh, and the woman who did it this time, she said it would take 7 to 10 business days to get my results. It took 2 days, which, if they tell you that, I can't tell you that everywhere. Like, I can't tell you that, like, they might take it to an outside lab that might take it longer. But typically it takes probably 2 to 4 days, maybe 5, to give you your results. And I kept asking her, I was like, are you sure? Because I've gotten tested. I get tested every 3 months, as you should. And the results come back pretty quick. Like, this one was literally 2 days, like maybe 48 hours. So try to breathe and forget about how much time it's going to take to get the results back, because typically you're going to get them a lot sooner than you think. And so the beginning ones came back positive, like the very first time, for chlamydia. And I had already taken the pill, like I had already been treated for it. And it's good to just be like, hey, I think I have chlamydia, gonorrhea, get treated for it. It's free in the same visit, basically, if you insurance and things like that, pending. Get treated for it, you're fucking done. Like, you're good, you're easy, like, you get your results. If it says positive, you took the thing already, and it's going to be negative as long as you don't do anything for 7 days. Like, one and done. So great, so cool, great. And I think a lot of people think it's a lot scarier, a lot harder, a lot whatever. It's not. And that's what I'm going to talk about in a second. But nobody knew. Here's the, like, full story about it. Nobody knew. I went, got tested, said it was positive. And at the time, I was that kind of person. I was very, like, scared and didn't really know. And I didn't do any research, and Google made it even scarier and even worse. But it's interesting now on the other side, if you Google it now, like for me, it's like, okay, now I completely understand. I'm listening, I'm learning, I'm understanding. And like, even the articles that I read at the first time that made me cry, now I read it and I'm like, why did I cry at this? Like, it was actually trying to help. It's just the mindset that you're in can really construe the way you comprehend the languages of articles. And so came back positive, freaking out, crying. At the time, I had a hookup, and he was a little bit older, not super, like, not no call me by your name, calm down, just a little bit. And we're talking about, like, maybe this was like a year and a half ago, so I was 19. So again, we're like legal. Anyways, I don't have to explain myself. So I messaged him because a lot of people at the time, like, I was trying to be honest and whatnot, and like people were freaking the fuck out. And this was back in Orlando. People were freaking the fuck out. And like there were things running through my head that weren't even a part of it. It was like, oh my God, what if my parents find out? Like, what if the insurance comes back and it says something very specific to my dad who like looks at the insurance stuff, like all of this shit. I was freaking out. And so I messaged him and I told him, like, oh my God, like, uh, and he was like, it's okay, just breathe. And he brought me Chick-fil-A and I never met him again. Really, like we stopped talking. But it was really sweet of him to like bring me Chick-fil-A, which was my comfort food. Don't come for me. It was my comfort food. He brought me Chick-fil-A. And it was just nice. It was comforting. And he was like, just take the pill, you'll be fine. Like, you're literally okay. And that was the first time I really heard like shit happens. And the people who were assholes are assholes. And so there's that little story. Nobody ever found out. And this is the first time I'm ever really telling that story. My parents don't listen to these. But if they ever did, hi, hello, hope you enjoyed. But uh, so let's talk about the STD itself. So first of all, and this is one of those straight things. This goes for both straight people and it goes for everybody all over the world. Get tested every 3 months. If you're straight, get tested every 3 months. If you're gay, if you're, queer, lesbian, bi, transgender, get tested every 3 months. Get tested every 3 months. There are free testing centers, free testing like clinics. There are places you can get for the LGBTQ members. There's places you can get PrEP for free. Look into them. Some of those are anal swabs, just to put out there, like there are other ways to get tested as well. And when you get tested, like for me, it was a finger poke. I think sometimes they'll draw blood, but I think that's more for like your kidney, for when you start PrEP, because when you start PrEP, they have to test your kidneys, they have to test for chlamydia, gonorrhea, and then they'll also typically take a urine sample as well. Again, some places are going to be different. Some places are going to be like maybe all three, some are just going to be two, maybe just one. And just like sometimes I think back in Florida, I took the urine sample and that was basically it. Maybe, I think, I don't know. I'm not going to give false information, but I'm just saying like expect more if not, because it's definitely going to be one at least. Obvi. And so they're free. So get tested every 3 months. That's the most important thing. That is what I'm going to tell you. It is most important. The second thing, stop with the stigma around fucking STDs. They're not scary. They are not going to, how do I put this the right way? They're not going to kill you. And I want to say that because like I don't have HIV and I'm not going to speak upon anybody that does. I'd love to have somebody that does have it on my podcast, if they're willing to talk about it and the stigma around HIV individually and the things that like they go through. But they go through so much shit. Let me tell you something. One, do not treat anybody who has an STD, whether it be chlamydia, gonorrhea, down to the basics, or to HIV. Don't treat them any different, first of all. Like, do not treat them. There's nothing wrong with an STD. There's nothing wrong with STD. Shit happens. I'm going to tell you the same thing that first person told me who brought me Chick-fil-A. Shit happens. Let it happen. This is the way your life is going. Let it happen. Don't freak out. Don't cry over it. Shit happens to people all the time. HIV, girl, we need a cure for it. Let's fucking go. However, HIV is treatable. I'm about to blow your mind because some people still don't know this, and that is okay. I'm not going to be I'm not condescending to anybody because I do really want to educate on this podcast. HIV is treatable. If somebody says they're undetectable, you cannot get HIV. Let me say it again. If somebody is undetectable, you cannot get HIV. If you are on PrEP and they're undetectable, even better. Hell yeah, let's go. I'm gonna talk about PrEP a lot. Like fucking get on PrEP. It's incredible. It's a pill every day, not that difficult. Unless you can't take pills. And like I said, DM me if you can. If they are undetectable, means untransmittable. You cannot get HIV if they're undetectable. They have to, and it's important to ask questions. Sex is a place where more questions, the better. Okay. If you have questions, don't phrase them rudely, don't phrase them disrespectfully, don't, it's not also like, okay, there should be better articles out there and things like that that shouldn't scare you. But like someone like me can let you know, like the tea around HIV. Like I said, undetectable equals untransmittable. Say it with me. Um, but oh my god, where was going with this? This is gonna sound weird now because I blinked out. Shit. Oh no. Oh, questions, right. They should, like, it's hopefully going. I will say this. People who do have HIV are typically pretty I would say open about it, at least on their profile. Obviously, like I said, they might not want to talk about it. That's a-okay. It's not their place to educate you. However, it's always good to ask the question. Never ask if somebody is clean. Don't do that. I know a lot of people do it. I know it's a habit we all have to break. Don't do it. It's kind of a disrespectful question. Just ask if they're DDF. There might be a better way to say it too at this point, but just ask. Or more likely, hey, I just want to clarify what is your sexual health is a perfect way to write something. Um, Even if it does say plainly in the profile and you want to ask, that's a-okay. And if they're assholes about it, again, they don't need to be fucking you. You don't need to be fucking them. Stay away from assholes who don't give a shit about you and want to treat you like a toy, even though you're just asking to be safe for yourself and also for them. And so that is a-okay to ask. Again, not your place to continue to further ask questions. Find those other places, unless there is somebody that out there, which I'm sure there's plenty of open books who would gladly help you like explain. I know somebody who has had HIV sent me a couple of articles to read, and I read them thoroughly and they were eye-opening, and it also really changed my mind. And I know for myself, like, it is, like I said, something, it's a stigma. Stigmas don't go away like that. You have to train them to get them back like a 180. So sometimes I typically have to go back and I have to read these articles once a year, maybe every 6 months, because I have to keep reminding myself, and that's okay. Again, you have to train your brain to catch up with what you already know. Um, like I can tell you undetectable means untransmittable, but until that sticks in your brain and whatnot, keep reading articles that say the same thing over and over again. It might sound annoying, but it's repetitive behavior and it's going to train you to be a better person. You can start like educating other people and just letting them know the simple things about HIV, and things like that. Um, so now that that's out of the way, ask questions, like I said, get tested every 3 months. Don't be an asshole. So if, and again, this is for the HIV people. I don't want to speak for them. But most HIV people, and I don't like that because I feel like I'm separating them in a group. They're just normal ass people. Like I said, don't be an asshole to fucking people who have HIV. Like yeah, it's so fucking crazy. People, it's just fucking great. Like I feel like people with cancer typically get a lot of empathy, get a lot of sympathy. And people with HIV, like a lot of other diseases, like people are pretty like, oh my god, like are you okay, et cetera, et cetera. And like HIV people are over here and like it's people are avoiding them like the fucking plague. Like they have this fucking disease that you can catch just by fucking breathing in their air. Not true. So but like if they're detectable, which I've never met anybody that's like detectable, because I think, and again, I don't want to speak for anybody, and I should have done a little bit more research on HIV process, and I probably will do a podcast about like specifically HIV, but I do want to do it with somebody, you know, again, that has is going through that experience, because I think it's important for all of us. But I'm almost positive it's also a pill every day. Um, and it becomes undetectable, and I know it takes 2 weeks to activate, and like I said, they have to continuously do it, and it's like good, we're good, like it's good. I have never met anybody specifically, like I have met some people who have HIV, and like again, like you're not going to know if somebody does or not. You're only going to know if either they bring it up in conversation, or B, it's on their Grindr profile. Don't ask, that's stupid, just because you're curious. Also, most people are probably gonna say no, because yeah, um because then you're being an asshole. But so why did I bring that up, you guys? It is way too early for me doing an educational podcast. um but it's like it's like people are trying to, it's so stupid, it's so stupid. But so 2 weeks undetected. Oh, I've never met. There we go. She's back on topic. I've never met somebody. I need to write this down. I'm dead. I've never, just so I can do this back in order without stopping and breathing for a sec. Now I'm talking to myself. Okay, Matthew, get back on topic. There we go. I have never met anybody that's detectable, because I feel like most people who have HIV are going to treat it. They're going to, you know, that's it. Period. End of sentence. They're gonna want to treat it. I've never met anybody that's detectable. Um, so yeah, there's that. Um, when we're talking about gonorrhea and chlamydia, they are 100%. I'm gonna say it 3 times. They're 100%. They are 100%, 100% treatable. You get it, one and done, you're good. I will say this, once you have it once, you're more susceptible to getting it again. And this is what the other straight thing that I wanted to say. And I feel like you may or may not, depending on where you live or how much you're on social media, typically, or also depending on like, for example, like TikTok, like what your For You page is like, whatever, you may or may not hear this a lot or not at all. Women get chlamydia a lot. Again, I've heard this from past girlfriends as well. Oh, that coffee's cold now. Women get chlamydia a lot. Fun fact. And that's why I say like straight men should get tested a lot too. Like I don't think they realize they need to get tested. And like if the girl has chlamydia, like he might get chlamydia. And like again, that's okay if they do, but you still, you know, you need to be treated for it. Um, but yeah, women get chlamydia a lot, and I feel like it's semi talked about, but also not. Um, in the LGBTQ community, like even chlamydia, like I said, like the first time I ever got it and tried to be honest with the people I did things with, they were disrespectful, they were rude, they were gross. I got blocked, I got stopped, you know, they stopped talking to me, they ghosted me, they called me names, um, and all of this shit. And it sucked. Like on top of not being out and scared that I was going to be outed. Like at the time, I didn't know that it was like 100% fucking treatable, and like I didn't know this shit. And so all of this, you know, again, that piled on. So um, get tested. Don't freak out. Um, it's 100% treatable. Break the stigma. Tell that to people. Tell that to everyone. They shouldn't be an asshole about it. They shouldn't be an asshole about it. If they don't know about it. Fucking send them articles. Like even if it's on Grindr and they're being an asshole, literally just start copy and pasting articles to where it says the same shit over and over and over again. Because they need to be trained. Their mind needs to be retrained to knowing this information. Chlamydia, gonorrhea, same thing, 7 days no sex. There are some places that can treat it and you can have sex within like 72 hours. But I'm not quite sure how that works. But like I said, it's kind of different everywhere. But like typical procedures, that's what it is. 7 days, no sex. Like, and you, if you want me to go to minute detail, no blowjobs, no penetration, no rimming, you know, everything. I mean, your fingers are fine, whatnot. I try to stay away from things that go in my ass as well. Like, that's something I probably need to learn too. Again, like, I started this podcast and I didn't do any research and I want to do more. But this is like base level of what I know. And I continue to explore these things every day. And sexual health is actually really a close topic to me. I think it's very important. Um, but I don't specifically know whether you can re-give yourself gonorrhea. I'm almost positive you can. Um, so I don't use my vibrator. Um, like masturbation's fine, like your fingers are fine, like just fucking wash your hands. And that's important too. Like if you're having symptoms as well, like discharge and things like that, I know that you can like put gonorrhea like on other surfaces or give it back to you at least. So wash your hands. And I mean that's important too. Like when you touch a liquid that should not really be happening necessarily. As well as like when after you use the bathroom, like you should be washing your hands obviously if you're gross, you're nasty. But that's something you should know. So 100% treatable. um so get tested, get treated. You can do it in the same appointment. Like I said, it's pretty simple. Like if you think you have something, great, cool. What else was I going to say about this topic? But end the stigma. Seriously, it is so annoying. Stop treating people like assholes. This time around, I got gonorrhea. I messaged all the people that I had sexual relations with. Everyone calm as a cucumber. I don't know what the fuck it was. But everyone started saying the same thing. Everyone literally said the words "shit happens." They were like, "It's okay, it happens." Like, totally understand. A lot of them were like, "Okay, I'll go get treated." Et cetera, et cetera. So like that's how you should act. That's how you should act. Because you first of all, you act like I'm the one that like had it in the first place. And like I might have, you know what I mean? Like depending, but I don't know where I got it from. Like it all starts somewhere. But like this shit's important. And telling people, oh, that's also important. If you have something, telling people is the most important thing. You don't want this to spread anymore. Obviously, if you also have sex with the same person again that you don't know where you got it from, you're going to get it again, most likely. So tell people. And again, whatever their response is, if it's great, cool, incredible, they're going to go get tested, et cetera, et cetera. If it's not great, first of all, you should feel like a good person because you fucking told them. You should not feel bad. Shit happens. And second of all, they can go and fuck all the way off, and you should never sleep with them again. Period. Because if they're going to be disrespectful about it and they are going to be insecure and not take the time to go and research, then they should not be in your life. Do better. So tell people 3 months, get tested every 3 months, and the stigma because chlamydia and gonorrhea 100% treatable. UTIs are treatable. Undetectable equals untransmittable. Don't be an asshole. There are other things to do with sex than just penetration and blowjobs, which, by the way, again, we'll make a second part with like sex, but girl, the things you can do that do not involve sticking it in, bitch. And again, like even saying that shit to them, being like, hey, like I'm sexually, like again, I've used that term a lot this week, like sexually frustrated. It's just so interesting because like they're like, but I just like I want to like I want to top you, and I'm like, or even I'm a versatile person, or all like they'll be like, oh, I want you to like stick it in me, and I'm like, there's so much more, and those people I won't sleep with because I'm like, you need to open your fucking eyes. Like again, and I don't give a shit if it's a one night stand. Like I want to do more. I don't want to like I don't want to come and dump. Like I don't want that shit. Like I want, even if a one night stand, like I want you to fucking rail me, or I want to fucking rail you in all the best ways, more than one. Um T bitch. So there's that. Um God, I feel like I'm missing something. I'm sure something will come back up if I remember. But yeah, so simple. I feel like easy breezy podcast here, but I really I want to end the stigma. It's so fucking annoying, especially like I said, as this like 19-year-old freaking out about all of these different things about chlamydia, not even realizing, hey, you're gonna fucking be fine. Oh, there it is. Wow, protection. Jesus Christ. That was a huge one. Almost breezed right past it. So, protection. Let's talk about it. So, prep. Like I said, go on prep. Um, I mean, even getting tested every 3 months obviously is a huge form of protection. Um, but go on prep. If you can go on prep, which you can, like I said, it's free. There are clinics you can get tested for free. There are places you can get prep for free. And girl, no, I'm not talking about like under the counter, like fucking imagine like there were sexual drug drug dealers. I don't know if that's offensive to say, but like sexual drug dealers that were like, here's prep. You can buy like, please don't do that. Like if they actually do have that, please don't buy it from backwards, like back alleys. But there are free places to get prep. You can search them online. I can give you some resources. I might put some in the, if I remember, I can put some in the description. And then condoms, obviously, super important. Use them when you want to be responsible, which you should. Okay. I sound so crazy right now. You should be 1,000% responsible all the fucking time. Here's the thing. Now, again, this I'm not really talking about straight people here because like the thought of like pregnancy and things would like that I would, yeah, no, if I was with I'd be wearing a condom 24/7. So it's a little bit double standard here, but kind of not. I don't know. LGBTQ plus people. I don't. Bareback is fun. And I know that I trust that you guys aren't always going to want to use protection. You're not going to want to, you're not going to feel like it. You might forget, like you get caught up in the moment, et cetera, et cetera. First of all, shut the fuck up. Pulling out is not an option, regardless of who you are. It's not an option. Um, Granted, fun fact, if somebody doesn't come in you or you don't come inside somebody, typically not like your dick just rubbing against in their ass isn't gonna do too much. Like obviously you can still catch things, but not as much if like liquids are um exchanged. But obviously you can pre-cum inside somebody and not know it as well. Like just putting that out there. I just want to make sure people know that like sometimes like if nobody's coming in your ass, it's also like a more slim chance. I'm not saying it's impossible, but more slim chance. So I don't trust you guys to always wear condoms. I get that. I don't. Hey, like if I came on this podcast and I was like, I use a condom 100% of the time, that'd be so stupid of me. That'd be so disrespectful and so gross that I'd be just lying straight to y'all's faces. I don't. And to be quite frank, the amount of time that I use a condom versus not is pretty astronomical. Call me an irresponsible person, go for it. Call me what you want, go for it. But I know on the other end, there's a lot of other people that don't. And I'm not going to judge you for what you do. You're not like, if you want to judge me for what I do, go for it. That would make me a bigger person. So please go for it if you're feeling that way. So I don't trust you to use a condom 100% of the time. And you know what? As maybe hot take and bad as this might be, I get it. I understand. I know where you come from. I know how it feels. Whatnot. And that's my hot take. You're not going to use a condom 100% of the time. You're just not, and nobody should expect that from you either. Yeah, nobody should expect that from you because yeah, that's just the way the dice rolls. But like I said, so if you're not using a condom, typically the only things you're going to get are chlamydia, gonorrhea, um, which are 100% treatable. Uh, and I'm not going around being like, yeah, so it's fine. But like, I just am raw and honest with you guys. Like, these are the expectations. You might get gonorrhea, you might get chlamydia. That's okay. It's 100% treatable. Don't be an asshole to yourself. Don't be an asshole to other people. And don't let other people be an asshole to you about it. If you catch it, get it, 7 days, no sex, cool, great. Explore yourself sexually without somebody else. Like, not that difficult. Um, and that's okay. If you want to use a condom, fucking use a condom. Talk about it, communicate with that other person, be like, hey, I want to use a condom. We should be responsible, like other things, like et cetera, et cetera. But you're not always going to use one. And like I said, that's okay. Um, shit happens. Literally shit happens. So um yeah. But if you do not use a condom, this is what I do say. Um, get prep, like I said a million times, get prep because like I said, like if you're on prep, you're really only going to get chlamydia and gonorrhea, which are 100% treatable, and you're solid. Like you're good. Um, by the way, HIV also takes longer to show up in test results as well. Um, it takes like like I think sometimes it could take up to a couple years to be like, you have it. So you might not know. Um, for a little while, which makes my other sentiment pretty contradicting and probably awful. But I'm still not gonna come on here and be like, you're gonna use a condom 100% of the time. You're just not. I know whoever's fucking listening to this, we fucking know. We fucking know. We fucking know. We see each other. Wow. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I know I'm like talking in circles, saying a lot because I'm trying to collect my thoughts. I should have written down what I wanted to say. I typically do so I don't fumble. But I like this little raw like podcast, pun intended, and talking about sexual health and it's important. And there's going to be another podcast, like I said, on HIV, hopefully with somebody that has it because I don't want to speak out of turn. Um, as well as a podcast on just straight up fun sex. Like that podcast is gonna be really fun. Stay tuned for that. Like we're really just gonna get into it. Sexual positions, and we're gonna get a little bit deep on that too about sex in general because there's some things that I want to talk about in sex as well. Um, but yeah, I'm glad that I did this. It feels good. It feels good to talk about like today's the last day, no sex. Cool, great. Love this for me. Um, but yeah, these are all the things that have personally experienced and come to mind. And I'm really glad we talk about it. And like I said, super hot take on that last one. Comment if you're listening on YouTube or if you're listening somewhere else and you want to come over to my YouTube and comment, do that. And tell me like what you feel about it. Tell me about your own personal experiences if you'd like. Tell me if you've ever gotten an STD, if that's something you're open about. Like I'm not gonna force you to do it if you know we're not. Um, tell me about these things. Tell me if you've ever experienced the stigma around it, if someone's ever been an asshole to you, or plenty of other people have been an asshole to you, or if you felt like you were also maybe going to be outed because you were doing it in your parents' house and you don't fucking know. Um, if something's going to show up in an insurance report or some shit. Um, yeah, and tell me if the hot take might be incorrect or you feel like I might be like you could tell me I'm being a little irresponsible. Like I'm open to hearing your thoughts about it. But let's just be raw, let's be honest. And most importantly, let's be respectful. I love you guys. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I bring up vlogs every week. And I'm trying to gain more of a following. Go follow my Instagram. All of this stuff is linked in my bio as well. Um, obviously, if you're on YouTube, you are you know, you can hit the subscribe button from here. I never say that shit, but I need to start saying it more because it is free and I'm trying to do this more full time and I love doing it for you guys. And I'm trying to make more content, but it's, you know, obviously difficult when it's not my full-time job and I'm not making money off of it quite yet. Like I said, I'm an honest person, whether that makes me bad or not. Well, honesty is not bad, but like whether I want to start getting money off of this, I don't know how you feel about it. Anyways, not the point. Subscribe, go follow my Instagram, go follow my TikTok. And I guess I'll see you guys next week. Well, if you watch my video this week, cool, great. But I guess I'll see you next week. I'm going to pre-record a podcast for next week because, like I said, I'll be in Vegas. And then I will see you guys the week after that, after my birthday. Oh my God, I'm so excited. You guys don't even know. So I love you guys. Remember, go get tested. Bye.